Nigeria, 1971. A time when fear ruled the streets. When the sound of a gunshot at night could mean only one thing: armed robbers were at work. And at the center of this storm was a name that sent shivers down spines. Babatunde Folarunsho, the man they called Baba Oni Lace. Babatunde wasn't just another criminal. He was a man who dressed his crimes in style. Even during his bloody operations, he wore fine lace, a strange symbol of arrogance and perhaps invincibility. People feared him. Some even admired him. But no one could ignore him. Nigeria had just emerged from the civil war, and chaos was everywhere. Poverty and desperation were breeding grounds for crime. Gangs of armed robbers rose from the ashes, and Babatunde was one of their most dangerous leaders. Alongside others like the infamous Ishola Oyanusi, he terrorized Lagos and beyond: carjackings, violent robberies, cold-blooded killings. He was a ghost, always slipping from the hands of the police. For a while, it felt like he could never be caught. The newspapers called him Nigeria's most wanted. Ordinary Nigerians prayed every night not to encounter him. But in 1971, luck finally ran out. One fateful evening, during a robbery, Babatunde was caught red-handed. He had robbed a man named Alfred Marshall of his car. To many Nigerians, it was as though the devil himself had finally been chained. The news spread like wildfire. Baba Oni Lace was in custody. Crowds gathered outside police stations, cheering. For once, fear turned into hope. On April 8 and 13, 1971, Babatunde Folarunsho was tried in court. Sitting in front of Justice James Agbula Ojomo, the evidence was overwhelming. His fate was sealed. The verdict: death by firing squad. But Babatunde wasn't alone. Two others would share his fate: Joseph Ilobo and Williams Alders Oyazimo, a naval officer accused of aiding the robberies. Then came the day Nigerians would never forget. July 24, 1971. Bar Beach, Lagos. By dawn, the beach was already full. Tens of thousands of people had gathered. Some came out of anger, some out of fear, others out of sheer curiosity. It was the first public execution of armed robbers in Nigeria's history. The crowd murmured. Then silence fell. A lorry pulled up. Out stepped the condemned men, their hands in chains, guarded by soldiers. Babatunde Folarunsho, true to his nickname, was dressed in lace. Almost defiant. It was as if he wanted to go down remembered not as a criminal, but as a man of style. Joseph Ilobo, however, was different. He fought against fate till the very end. Looking into the massive crowd, he cried out, "Are all these people here to see me die? This is a wicked world. I have not committed any crime." His words echoed through the beach. But there was no mercy. Then came Oyazimo. Unlike the others, his story was more complicated. A sub-lieutenant in the Nigerian Navy, he maintained his innocence until his final breath. With tears streaming down his face, he declared, "If you search your conscience, you will know that a naval officer of my status will never go in the dead of the night to steal. I'll die today, innocent of the crime for which I am condemned." His last words touched many in the crowd. Some even believed him. Others whispered that he was framed. But the guns didn't care about innocence or guilt. The military chaplain, Colonel Pedro Martins, moved forward and asked the men to pray. But Oyazimo refused. "Father," he said, "I am innocent. My blood will cleanse my family, and my children will prosper." The soldiers raised their rifles. The crowd held its breath. Then, a deafening volley of gunfire. When the smoke cleared, Babatunde, Baba Oni Lace, Joseph Ilobo, and Williams Oyazimo lay lifeless in the sand. The beach erupted. Some cheered. Some wept. Others just stood in silence, realizing they had witnessed a moment that would mark Nigerian history forever. For the government, this was more than punishment. It was a warning. A statement to every armed robber in the country. This is your end if you choose this path. But the execution also sparked questions. Was Oyazimo really guilty? Was justice served? Or had the state simply made an example of him? One thing was certain: that day, July 24, 1971, became a turning point. Crime didn't end, but fear had a new face. Nigerians knew that no matter how powerful a criminal thought he was, the law would eventually catch up. And as the waves of Bar Beach washed away the blood in the sand, the memory of Baba Tunde Folarunsho, the robber who dressed in lace, became a legend of crime, fear, and tragedy. Evil may wear fine clothes, but it always ends in chains. This was the story of Baba Oni Lace, a man who thought he was untouchable, until the bullets of justice proved otherwise. This is Crime Walls, where true crime lives. Subscribe, if you dare.